If you're an Amazon seller and you've been doing the same amount of sales month over month, chances are that you might be in danger. I just talked to an Amazon brand owner doing about 50 to 60K a month year over year, and recently their sales have dropped 20% and their tacos has doubled since then. The craziest part is they just thought they had to increase their PPC spend, but that didn't move the needle at all. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why maintenance mode kills most brands and exactly why you should never fall into that trap. Now, I just made a LinkedIn post recently about this. So I talked to a brand owner doing about 56K a month a year, and sales have dropped by 20%, and the tacos doubled from like 5 to 11%. And he thought the solution was just to increase PPC spend, which in hindsight looks good because you've had such a good track record year over year with maintaining sales. So obviously, if we just increase the PPC spend, we're going to get more sales and we're going to increase the ranking. That was not the case. The problem wasn't the budget. It was that they've been in maintenance mode for years, and maintenance mode is something that will always kill your brand for a bunch of reasons. There's no growth strategy, no push for new keyword rankings, and you're just keeping things steady. And that is horrible in Amazon's ecosystem nowadays. Now, why is this horrible? Well, first of all, the market never stays still. So, for example, keyword PPC bids are going up year over year. It's always getting more expensive. So it's never easy for you to maintain those rankings. So, for example, if we keep the same bids that you've been keeping up for year over year, you might not convert as high or you might not get as much visibility because the bids are much more expensive now. Second thing is, competitors enter, take market share, and drive bids higher. If you're always in maintenance mode, no amount of reviews, everything will save you in the long term because you're going to have competitors inevitably enter the market, whether they have a new product, they have cheaper price points, or whatever. They're going to take some bit of your market share. So if you do not get out of this maintenance mode and really focus on increasing your keyword ranking and maintaining those rankings, this is always going to be an issue. If you're not actively pushing for more sales and ranking, you're always going to fall behind on Amazon. Hey, if you're an Amazon seller serious about scaling your business on Amazon, we're offering a free in-depth audit of your brand. We'll cover exactly what's working, what's not working, and give you a plan of action to efficiently scale. So it should be the first link in the bio and also in the comments, and we'll get that forward to you. Now let's get back to the video. Now, what was the biggest issue for these guys? They had lost their organic ranking, and it was very hard for them to regain them because it's much more expensive than, first of all, keeping them rankings in the first place. This is why most brands that are doing well should never be complacent because you know that it's going to be more competitive with more competitors enter the market, and then keyword bids are going to get more expensive. But you have to maintain these rankings because that's driving a lot of organic sales, okay? So this brand lost so much organic sales because their PPC management and they were just in maintenance mode, and then the keyword ranking was slowly, incrementally drop off to a point where it got really noticeable. Like their organic sales dropped a lot, and then you come to realize, well, why am I losing my sales? Well, you're not aggressively bidding on these keywords that you should be and maintaining those rankings. So how is people supposed to find your product now? This is a very big issue. Never go into this downfall. Now, the biggest misconception people have is always around the debate around ACOS versus tacos, okay? ACOS is a very good metric if we're just looking at the PPC data and we're trying to figure out how these campaigns are converting. But you never want to look at that at the end all be all because tacos is the most important because we want to use these PPC campaigns to drive our organic ranking. So this brand saw their tacos go from 5% to 11%. What does this indicate? This indicates that you lost a lot of keyword ranking and people are not organically buying your product. And now why is this? Because you've been in maintenance mode for so long, new competitors have entered the market, the cost per click has gone up and you're not competitive anymore. So obviously you're gonna naturally see a decrease in your ranking over time. This is why it's such a big pitfall to be in this maintenance mode, okay? If your tacos is anything below like 8%, yes, you might be super profitable, but you're leaving out a lot of sales on the table because you have to be really aggressive on the top line to overall grow your sales, okay? So for example, let's say we have the same tacos. Let's say we have tacos about 13, it's at 13%, okay? But our revenue doubled. What does that mean for you? Yes, your metrics stay the same, but your overall top line revenue has doubled. So your profitability is the same in terms of the actual baseline, but the overall top line revenue is much more now. And if you don't aggressively try to aim for this, you're never gonna scale and you're always be stuck at this bottom pit. The biggest pitfall for brands is once they think they lose organic ranking, it's going to be much easier just to regain it by improving your PPC spend, and just spending more money. This is not how the algorithm works, okay? Because now you're trying to regain, you're trying to go up the ladder, right? You fell down the ladder, you're trying to go up. Now, with going up the ladder, there's a hurdle at every step. Whether that's your conversion rate, your competitors are overbidding on these keywords now because they've gotten such high organic rankings. They're not trying to lose to you. Why would they give you their rankings back up, You fell off, right? So it's going to be even harder to climb back up. That's why you should never make the mistake to even in the first place lose your organic ranking. If you have certain keywords which you get a lot of sales from and maybe your ACOS is quite high on it, you still want to maintain it because that is bringing you a lot more organic sales, okay? I had a brand that was spending, that is 70% ACOS, but they were getting only 20% of that because 80% of sales were coming from organic spots from those PPC campaigns. Okay, this is very, very important. So you never want to lose your organic ranking because you're going to have to spend way more money just to regain that, okay? And for example, this brand was spending more money and they saw their tacos go to 11%. Now, why is this? Because the campaigns in place were not optimize for further growth because they're always in maintenance mode. Now we have to build campaigns around actually growing our keyword ranking. So how do we do this? Obviously, be a bit more aggressive in our targeting from exact match. We are very competitive in that standpoint. We want to target our competitors' ASINs that we want to convert high for because that will improve our overall BSR rank, right? It's a different strategy from being in maintenance mode. There's two different things. So simply improving your bids and budget is not good enough, and that's why you're going to waste a lot of money in the overall scheme of things. So what is the takeaway from this? Pretty much never get complacent unless you've truly maxed out your market. And most times you're never going to max out your market because there's going to be more competitors, more people are going to come on Amazon and actually look for your products. So growth spend isn't optional. It's the only way to stay competitive and profitable long-term. So if you're not growing, you're dying. Last thing for any business, even for Amazon, outside, any sort of business you run, if you're not growing, you're dying. And if you're not marketing, you're dying because you're not getting any more customers. If you want to work with me and my team, link in the bio for a calendar spot, or if you want a free audit, also link in that. Leave a like, subscribe, and take care.